Hey guys. Hey, it's Faith. I have something really fun to share with you guys. I found some really good software that I think is really going to help a lot of you if you're feeling overwhelmed and you have a million things to do and you're feeling like things are scattered and you want to get organized. I think this will really help you. I'm very, very excited about this. I've tested a lot of different software. I'm always kind of dabbling around, trying new things so I can recommend things to my clients when they need software recommendations or different things. So when I found this, I was very excited. I think it's going to work really well for you guys. If you guys are new to me, my name is Faith Mariah. I run a personal development brand called the Empowered Slacker Society, where we help people do easy, lazy personal development tips and tricks. And then I also run faithmariah.com, where I help people that want to have an online business or an online brand grow their business and actually make money online. We do multiple six figures of revenue every year, and I'm very busy, just like a lot of you guys, and I have a million things going on. So let me share my screen with you guys. This software is called bydesign.io, and I'm really, really excited about it. I feel like it combines kind of my favorite things about Notion. I really, really love Notion a lot. I use it a lot. However, I very rarely recommend it to clients. And the reason why is because it can be very investment, very time sucky. But it can take a lot of time to set up. Okay, so I'm always hesitant to recommend it to people because I don't want them wasting hours and hours and hours setting it up, and it can have a little bit of a learning curve, and it can be kind of messy. It can get kind of all over the place. And so I feel like this software does a lot of my favorite things in Notion, but it has more structure where I feel less worried that you guys are going to go off the rails and like waste a week building out the perfect Notion setup. I really feel like you can set this up quickly. I'm going to show you guys how I would set it up. I'm going to set it up for like a fake business with you guys and show you how I would organize things. And hopefully that'll give you some ideas about how to use it. I started making a blank one of these, but I thought it might be helpful to see what it actually is. So this is my real one I've been using this week. And I'll just show you guys, this is the home page that we're on right now. Now, one of the things I love about this that I have been like searching for, searching for far and wide, is to be able to drag and drop tasks. So what I love about this is it has your calendar over here. It integrates with Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, and Outlook. So if you use one of the major calendars, you're covered. You can sync it in here and it'll show your actual calendar. So these are my calendars. This is my personal calendar. This is my boyfriend going to volleyball tonight. And then these are meetings I have today that I have to go on. And then these are tasks. The other thing that is cool about this is it has habits when you first sign up. It'll ask you kind of what habits you want to add, and it'll have some suggestions. And obviously, you can put your own in here and edit them. But I put for my habits, drink water, go for a walk, hit the gym. What's nice about the habits is they're just in here every day. I don't have to set it up. Like I'm saying, this is so easy to set up and also so useful. I've tested so many time organizing productivity softwares, and I really feel like this is so user friendly the way this is set up. So I can check this off. I went for a walk today, go me. And the other thing that's cool is you get points. So you can get points when you check off your habits, when you check off your things in your to-do. There's a daily streak. And they even have a little leaderboard on here. If you're competitive like me, you get points for different things. So if I complete my habits, I get extra points. Calendar planning, creating tasks, note taking, daily check-in. And it actually has a leaderboard. And it says every month they do prizes for people on the leaderboard. So I thought that was kind of fun. And your little personal stats are up here. So it has, your streak. Like that's if you sign in every day and do stuff in here, you'll start getting a streak, which encourages you to use it daily, which I think is really important. And then you get points. If you're like me and you're competitive, you can see how many points you can get in a day. It's just kind of fun, right? So that stuff is up here. And then down here, you can toggle this up or down if you don't want to see this here, but I really love having your tasks right here when you sign in. So right when you sign in on the homepage, you have your calendar for the day, your tasks for the day, things that are overdue, and then things that are coming up tomorrow. So you can see what you've actually scheduled for the next day. And then down here, you have your habits and your recent pages. What I love about this is that you can drag these to-do lists. So here's my list today. If I were going to plan my day in here, this is generated from the pages we're going to set up in a minute, but you can drag them onto your calendar like this. This seems like not a big deal, but for whatever reason, there's a lot of software doesn't let you do this. And the ones that I have found that let you drag and drop tasks are pricey and expensive. So I've tested Akiflow and Sunsama and kind of these different calendars, but I don't like recommending them to you guys because a lot of you guys are bootstrapping your business and just getting started. And when you're just getting started, frankly, it does not make sense to me to pay $20 a month for a calendar, right? And so this is affordable. That's the other thing I liked about this. Let's see, I made some notes. So if I'm looking down, that's because my memory sucks and I have notes down here. The monthly plan is $6 a month, which I thought was really affordable. And if you do annual, it comes out to $4 a month or $48 a year. I think for a calendar that does all the things I'm going to show you guys, I think that is a very, very competitive. I think that this is the most bang for your buck you're going to get in a software like this. And they gave me a code for you guys. This is not an affiliate code. They don't have an affiliate program. I totally would be an affiliate for them. So hopefully they'll add that. But I did ask them, I was like, I know you don't have an affiliate program, but can I have a discount for my community? And they were really nice and they gave me one for you guys. So if you use code Faith10, they'll give you $10 off the annual. So that ends up coming out to $38 a year or $3, $3.16 a month. So Faith 10, that'll save you guys $10 on the annual plan. I'm not getting any cut or anything. So this is just stuff, I love. Obviously, you guys that know me know I wouldn't be recommending things, that I don't think would be useful to you guys. So these are kind of my favorite things. I love this drag and drop. I love this dashboard right when you sign in with your task for the day, the task for tomorrow, your calendar over here. I think it's a really nice little setup. So the other thing I love about this is it has this workspace over here. Now, I have a bunch of pages in here, but I put them all in private because I want to set up with you guys like a new business. So I'm going to walk you guys through if I were coming in here and I had an online business, kind of how I would set this up. And then you guys can either use this framework. I will, I have all of this in a page, like in notes that I'm using to go through this, but I'll give that to you guys for free. So we'll put the link in the show notes if you want like the layout that I'm using, so you can follow along and set this up yourself. But what is nice about this, let's go ahead and make a new page down here. So we're going to just make a new page here. And I just want to show you guys what I love about this is you can use this for note taking. So you can just type stuff in here. So something I like to do every day is I'll do like a brain dump. So I can come in here and just write everything in my brain. And then if I want to add something that I need to do today, you can do it two ways. You can do it up here at the bar, but I always do this slash. If you use Notion, this will look very familiar to you. If you hit this slash, it'll give you this menu of all these different things you can add. You can create a new page. We can put images, but the one I use the most is this guy. So we're just make a task and then we can just put thing I want to do. If you hit enter, it'll do it again. And what's nice about this is it has over here these other things you can add for your tasks. So you can add a note if you want to add like how to do it or something about it or a link to something. You can do that here in has a little notepad that will be attached to this task. You can put a priority. So if I want to make this high priority, you can do a tag. I'll show you guys. I set up some tags in here and I'll show you guys how I would use it in a minute. The duration. So if you want to give yourself like 15 minutes to do it or an hour to do it, you can do that. Most of you probably won't use this. And if you're not using something, you can toggle it off. So if we're not going to use duration, let's say, we can just turn that off and it goes away. And then the other thing that I really like about this that is I've only seen in kind of higher end calendars is it has two due dates. Praise the Lord. Can every app maker please, please start using two due dates because it has a scheduled date which is like when I'm going to do my thing. So let's say I'm sending an email and I want to write it on Wednesday and it's going out on Friday. So you can use your deadline for like when it's actually going, and you can use the schedule for when you're going to get it done. And that is just, it's so useful for the kind of stuff that we do as content creators and online business owners. So I really, really love that a lot. And then it has tagging, and if you have things sorted, if you have a big list, right? Let's say we have 20 things on this list, we can have it sort by priority so it can put the most important ones at top. Or if you have it tagged a certain way, you can put the certain tags on top. And that's always just a nice way to organize things when you get a ton of stuff in here. So that's one thing you can do. I'm going to delete this out of here. Let me show you. I'm going to give you guys like two kind of setups you can use. The other thing you can do, if you don't want to mess with the note-taking part, so this kind of combines three different things, really. It has your calendar, it has your to-do list, and it has note-taking. If you don't want to mess with the note-taking and you don't want to organize a bunch of pages, you can just use this dashboard, and then you can just use this inbox. So you can just put all your tasks here. And then you can do the same thing, setting the priorities, the tags. If you want to set up different tags for different projects or something like that, you can just use this as a big to-do list and then sort it, by priority, or sort it by duration, or sort it by due date. So that is an option if you're just getting started and what I'm going to show you is overwhelming. Or if you have a very simple business, this might be all you need to do, right? So that is really, really great. You can also set repeat tasks in here. So if, let's say I want to do this every week, we can go to repeat, right? And it can be like repeat every day, every week, every month, starts on this date, ends on this date. So the tasks that you do over and over, you don't have to schedule every time. So if I send an email every week, I can just set that up to repeat. So you can use this as your inbox, as your to-do list. I'm going to show you guys how I would set up kind of a dashboard for a business. I'm going to give you a very simple way, and then a way that's a little bit more, not complicated, but a little bit more complex, and probably what a lot of you guys would end up using. So if I come up here to workspace, I would do, this is going to be like the easy way. I would just make a page. You guys know I love 90-day planning. So one way you can set this up is do a new page, and you can go October. Let's say we're doing Q4. Okay. And then we can do another new page. We can do November, and we can do December. You can also color code these. You can pick different colors up here. And when you go to your dashboard in the front up here, you'll see like it'll make it the color on the calendar that it is on these pages. So let's say we're going to do our 90-day planning. So the first thing I would do is like my big goals. And let's make this like a bigger font. Big goals. And then I would do some bullet points, and it would be like 1, 2, 3. You probably should not have more than 3 big goals. That's probably even a lot for some of you guys. So I would do your big goals at the top. And then I would do, let me see, I would probably do your content. So let's say we want to do a weekly YouTuber to make these into tasks, because these are things we have to do. So we could be like weekly YouTube. We can be like monthly podcast. And maybe you're going to do a weekly email, right? And then we can set priorities for these things. We can tag them. I'm going to tag them by month in this example. I'm not going to use duration. And then we're going to set this to repeat. It's going to repeat every week on, let's say we're going to do a publish on Tuesday. and we're going to schedule it. And this is going to generate it onto our to-do list when we come on this homepage. So when we sign on here, we're going to see on Monday, for example, this will be over here. So it's going to show up in your dashboard every week, and you're not going to have to come in here and keep setting it up over and over again. So that is that. So then I would do your content. And then I would just make different headings for different stuff you have to do, right? So maybe there's like admin stuff you want to do. So maybe like you want to update your books once a month. Maybe there's a weekly meeting you have. Anything like that you can dump in here. And then I would probably just make like miscellaneous. And then down here you can just put any other tasks. And you can make headings for anything else you need to organize. And I would just go month by month, right? Now, if you want to get real, like we want to really plan things out, this is kind of about the level of planning I do. I'm not someone that plans out my YouTube videos for the whole quarter. Some people even plan like all their emails for the year. I just go week by week. So something like this would work really well for me. If you want to plan out your stuff more in depth, you could do that on here by making a heading for each one. So let's say we want to plan out our YouTube. Let's say instead of doing it like this, we'll just make a heading for each of these. So this is going to become like our YouTube for October. And let me delete these out of here. Actually, can I just check them off? I wish it would. There is a way to hide these, but let me just delete them out of here for time's sake. So there we go. Let's say we want to plan, you want to plan all of your YouTube videos for October. So I believe there's 4 months in October, so we would need 4 videos. So you could just do like this, week 1, week 2, week 3. Oops, I forgot to put the guy. Let's make them all matching and beautiful. Week 4. And then you could just fill out your ideas here, right? And then you can come in here again and you would schedule them. The scheduling, I would use this for when you're going to actually shoot and create it. And then the deadline as like when it actually goes up. That's how I would do this. So you could do the same thing as this for if you want to plan emails, if you want to plan podcasts, I would just make a header like this, week 1, week 2, week 3, week 4. Some months have 5 weeks, just put the 5th week on here. And then that would be a really easy way to do this. And you would have October, November, December. I would just set them up the same way using this format. I would just copy your headers and stick them in here. So that is an easy way to set this up. Now, if I were going to really set this up and you have a lot, you really love organizing and you really want to get in the nitty-gritty, this is how I would set it up. I would make separate pages in here. So I would start, we're going to make I laid this out, so I'm looking at my list so I don't forget anything. I would I would set this up. I would make your main pages first. So I would make one for content, one for admin, and one as a notebook. And this is probably going to be good enough for most of you, broken up enough. So we're going to do one page for content. We're going to do one page for admin. I'm going to show you what I would put in each section in a second. And then I would do one page as a notebook. Let's make him, you can make these different colors if you want. You don't have to mess with this, but I love color coding things, so I thought that was cool. So now what I would do is I would make this kind of my main page and then I would make sub pages. So we're going to make a new page, create a new page inside this project, and we're going to make this one YouTube. You can do it down here too. Oops, we don't want him under here. We're going to make him under here. Then we can make this one for a podcast. You can make a page for any content that you want to plan out that you want to have like its own page or its own spot, right? So, and then we can do one for social media. And then you can toggle this up or down. So we're going to have our content under here, all of our admin tasks under here. For admin, let's do login info. I'm not a risk adverse person. I would totally store passwords in a thing like this. I don't know if it's secure or not. You're gonna have to do your own research on what you feel comfortable with and what the security stuff is. I did not research that, so I take no responsibility for that. Okay. I would also make a page for courses. This is like if you sign up for free stuff, if you sign up for paid stuff, we're gonna have a home for them to live in. Very important. And then I would make a page for other resources. If you find like a website you like using or whatever, it can live here. And then for your notebook section, this is like where you can take notes if you come to a coaching call. Like we do coaching calls in my community every week. If you're on a coaching call with us, if you're doing a course, if whatever, we can go ahead and put course notes here. Like I'm saying, this section is just like where I would keep notes. I'd have a section for future ideas. You guys know I'm fanatical about saving ideas. I'm like, ideas are super valuable when you're an entrepreneur. And then you can have a section for brain dump. I use this all every morning. I just got to get everything out of my brain because it be very chaotic up here. Right. So now this is nice and organized. You can make other headings, obviously, for your business, but I'm going to show you just some examples of how I would set up these pages. So for the YouTube's, what I would do, I would still do it quarterly, but I would do it on one page. So I would go October, right? And then I would do the same thing where I would make the to-do. I'd be like, week one. You can put dates if you want to get, like, if you wanted to, you could put the dates in this heading, but this is literally how I plan stuff all the time. I'm just like week one, week two, week three. And I kind of think about it in my brain like that as we go through the month, right? And then I would go to the next one down here. I would make a new heading. I hate how this is like messing with my fonts. It keeps bumping me back. I don't know if that's a glitch on mine or if it always does that. November. And then I would just do the same thing, right? Week one, week two, week three. And then I would do December. And you can do as many months as you want. So if you want to do January, February, March, like go off, right? And then you can fill this out. You can set your priority. You can tag it. I like tagging it by month so I can pull that up in my main dashboard, but you can use the tag for whatever you want. And then the duration, schedule, all that stuff. And you can turn any of these on or off. So if I want to use the deadline, I can. If I don't, you can turn them on and off for whatever you want to do. I would set each of these up for the podcast and the social media. And then what that will do, if you schedule these deadlines, again, it's going to show up on that main to-do list on your homepage. So if you schedule on here a YouTube video, right, for each week, let's say every Monday, you are scheduled to shoot a YouTube video and you have your idea here. When you sign on to your main homepage, it's going to be on this list and you can drag and drop it onto your calendar. So I really love this. And then you can also the thing I love about this is you can also just put notes down here. You can put tables down here. If there's just other stuff you want to put down here, you can do that and you can add all of those with your to-do list. So I like that it's to-do list and notes all together. And I love that it generates onto that dashboard. You can totally build something like this in Notion, but it's a pain. And I think for a lot of people, they get in the weeds and they end up getting sucked into organizing all this stuff and keeping it organized. And I just think this is a lot more manageable for most people. Let me show you the other pages I would add. Oh no, I already added them. So for login info, I would probably just make this a table. You don't need like deadlines. So I would only use the tasks if it's something you need to do, like your to-dos. If we're just storing information in here, right, you can put like the name, you can put the URL, you can put, if you're brave, you can put your login, your password. Again, I'm not very risk adverse. I would totally save passwords and something like this, but I don't actually, I can't advise you guys to do that. So, and then maybe like notes or something. And then you can save all your stuff in here. So it's all in one place. You've got your login info. I would definitely do the same thing like for your courses. So I would set up a table. I would, whoop, what is happening? I can't, I'm not good at talking and doing things at the same time. So you guys got to bear with me. But I would do the name of the course, the URL, the login info, and then a description of like what it's for. So you can put that stuff here. So you have all your courses, all your login information. Other resources are like websites you find. If you find a website you like using to edit your podcast or whatever, you can just store it in here so it has somewhere to live. You also need to be keeping track of your profit and loss. I recommend using QuickBooks or probably Excel for something like that. You could set something like that up in here, but I don't think it's really designed for that, right? It doesn't have like formulas. I would love for it to have kind of more in-depth spreadsheets and databases, and maybe it will someday, but right now I wouldn't do that in here. You could link it in your dashboard if you wanted to have like in your other resources, you could have your profit and loss sheet um, linked in here in your other resources. The notebook, I would just do any course that you're taking. I would just come in here and make a new page for it. So we're just going to create a page inside and we're going to name it the name of your course. And then I would just write like whatever module you're doing or the date. I would just make a headline that's like that. And then I like doing bullet points. So I would just do like all the things you learn like that. You could make different pages if you wanted. You could do a page, a whole different page for each module. I probably would, this is probably good enough for most courses. But if you have a course that's like real in depth and you're really getting in there, you can create a new page that's like module one. And then this will only have your stuff from module one on it. And it'll have a link in here, right? So that's kind of nice. And you can see when I make a new page, it goes under here. So I could have the name of the course and then module one, module two, module three, and it would toggle on and off under my course notes. So it's just a really easy way to organize stuff like that. The future ideas, let me show you guys how I would do this. I love doing ideas in databases. So what I would probably do on this is I would dump my ideas. Let's say I have an idea for a podcast, an idea for an email, course idea, product idea, launch idea. Hopefully, you guys can train your brain. You just want your brain to be like pumping out ideas all the time when you're an entrepreneur. You can prioritize these ideas in here so you can keep it organized. Or does it only let you do that? Yeah, see, it doesn't let me. I wish it would let me tag things not as to-dos. So what I would probably do is just do a table and then set it up like that. There we go. So I would just do, yeah, sort ascending, sort, move left, move right. Yeah, this is a pretty basic table. So I would just put the idea here and then I would put like what it's for up here. I have a brilliant ideas board in Notion that I really, really love. I would just put ideas and then I would make this call on like what it's for. You could put platform and make it podcast, YouTube. You could just put what it's for. Just keep it very simple so you'll actually use it. And then one of the things I really love about Notion is those databases that lets you set up like multiple tags and stuff. This is a little more basic than that. So you don't get that feature. And then the other thing I use in Notion a lot that this does not have is it doesn't have widgets for your phone. So on my Notion dashboard, I have a whole, it's called the million dollar ideas board. It's where I put all my ideas all day when my brain is coming up with ideas. I always try to write them down because my memory is horrible. And if I'm walking around in the world and I have my phone in my pocket, I have the widget on my home screen and I just click that and it opens that database and I just put it really quick in there. This doesn't have the ability to do that. But if that doesn't bother you, you could also like not put your ideas in here and you could put them in your notes app on your phone or something like that if that's easier. So that's an overview. Again, I really love this dashboard is already built. Like, can you build something like this in Notion? Totally, but it's a little bit of a learning curve. I don't like that there is a danger of people wasting a lot of time messing with it. I feel like this gives you enough structure with enough flexibility. It has a lot of the stuff I love about Notion in it, where you can take notes and you can do to-do lists on one page. I think that's great. I love the drag and drop onto the calendar. I love the to-do list, the overdue list. I love this little gamification thing they're messing with up here. The habits I thought were great, right? And even like yesterday, I went for a walk and I checked it off. So now I have a 2 day streak. So if you get up to like 100 days, I love like the idea of like not breaking the chain, right? So stuff like that really does work for me. And again, you can use Faith 10 for $10 off your annual plan. And I think that's all I had to show you guys. I hope that this is helpful for you and let me know if you use this. I'm messing with some other things that I'm really excited to make videos about for you guys. So I'm messing with a AI life coach and some other business organization AI kind of software. So hopefully I'll have videos about that stuff coming out. I have a podcast and all that stuff you can find at faithmariah.com if you're interested in learning about online business, and at Empowered Slacker for the Empowered Slacker Society if you're interested in personal development, in goal setting, in like super easy, lazy. We're not doing no 5 a.m. morning routine over there. Okay. It's like easy things you can do that are sustainable that like normal people can do in their life. You can check out empoweredslacker.com. I'll put all the links for everything below. I will put the link for the outline of like all the different sections I made. I'll put a link for that in the show notes as well. And you guys can have that as like a free little bonus. And that's it. Do the YouTube things. Help me out. Like, what are you supposed to do on YouTube? Comment, like, subscribe, do the YouTube, do the YouTube things. And that's all I have for you guys. I hope that this was helpful to you guys, and I will talk to you guys soon. Bye, everybody.